Hello and welcome to Flory Models Friday Catch-Up Show. Here we are with you on the 20th of December 2024. Big week this week because obviously, one, I wanted to get this thing finished off. Tick, success. Secondly, I wanted to get the Nimrod all together. No, not so good. So yes, it's not quite there yet. Don't want to rush it. We'll speak about that one in a moment. But this week literally has been the last full week, obviously before Christmas. I know most of you will probably be on holiday, you lucky people, from obviously probably today onwards until the new year. So it's plenty of time for modelling and stuff. So I thought I'd better keep you stocked up with videos to watch as well as we make our way through. Christmas doesn't start for us until a couple of days to go yet. So I still have got a bit more time to get going on the Nimrod and get that one somewhat together before Christmas. And don't forget, we've actually got a Christmas special show with you, 7:30 Sunday night. And then you're going to get the final part of the Osprey will be up with you on Monday. And then next Friday, you're going to get the second part of the actual Nimrod build, which pretty much gets you to here. So that's why I've got to do some more to get you enough for Monday on the following side of it. So yes, a really, really busy week. Anyway, let's go through it. So it all started on Monday. We've got part 8 of the Osprey went up. So down in here, really, it was just that thing about finishing off with the actual decaling and things like that. We had a little bit of trouble with silvering. So we did our usual techniques for getting rid of that. So we turned that the way and we got rid of all of that. Got the markings all in place. Needed to make a little template. So I used the old display circle cutter, which is great for jobs like this, to make our little one up there. And we painted that in, got that sorted. And then we basically went around and we gave this thing a nice good matte finish right the way over it. So we used the 3rd gen matte finish with the actual 3rd gen thinners, which I really like. It's a good combo and it's a nice satin matte finish. It's what I like to work with, and to knock those decals back and get them sealed in, and obviously to give them a nice coat, which is the same as everything around it. So obviously sometimes decals are a little bit more slippery. So when you come in with like washes and oils and things like that, it gets them to stick to the decals to wear them in as well. All right. So with that done, then we can turn our attention to a little bit of post shading. So this was just in an effort to get the decals to sort of bury in a little bit at the same time. So we went over the actual decals with them as well, because at the moment, as you can see, they're a little bit strong. So we used it like a filter action right the way over them. And again, to give this sort of bit of shading down in here. So not very often I use post shading, but this is one of those ones where I needed to do it because I needed to overpaint the decals to get them to bed in a little bit more and sort of make them not look as stark and as strong. So anyway, that's what we went through on this one. Got that all sorted. Then we did the actual wheel wells and the wheels and everything else like that with the old normal way with the flat white. Then we got the painted up the tyres, and then obviously went into the centre hubs using one of those cheap circle masks right the way through and blew them in to get the tyres all done nicely together like that. All right, so that completes that one down in there. So members, if you want to go off and see that, that's part 8 of the Osprey. And then I said this week was all trying to get everything sorted and sort of made through. So the members blog, that went up on the actual Tuesday, and that we were talking about the Nimrod. I test fitted the wings into it, very happy with it and all the rest of it. And then obviously we went through the masking process of it and this, that and the other to get us to where we are now and making sure it's basically seamless. So that video is up with members. You can see that right now. And then obviously the same goes for Wednesday, because I was really pushing on heavily all week with the actual Osprey of getting that one through as well. So again, we were talking about obviously the last bits going in there, talking about the oils and the various things as well. So that was coming together very, very nicely. Last night we had the live show. So again, the live show with me, myself, Andy, Matt and Nathan as well, doing our usual sort of comedy act on this one, answering all the questions. It is a members one, so it's a little bit more risque than any ones. So yes, if you've got any questions like that, members, make sure you ask them in this one and we can get the information to you as well. Plus the fact the comings and goings and what we're all up to, modelling related and normally not modelling related. So if you want to catch up with that one, it's quite a long show last night. We went over by 20 minutes. So if you want to catch up with that one, you can do, members, right now. It is up there. Oh yeah, and that's because my magnifiers broke as well, which is my annual purchase of magnifiers. They only last me 12 months and I break them. So I've got a new set of those. So we were discussing those as well. Really should have got them up on the Amazon thing. All right, that gets us bang up to date to today. So as I said, pushing on very heavy with the Osprey on this particular one. So part 9 is up there now. Now you can see we've got these markings nicely blended in. So by overspraying them like a filter really over the decals with the base colour, you can see we've just knocked them down a little bit, taken down a peg, not as shiny and as bright. And that means that we can get on with it with some weathering. So usual thing, Flory Models Dark Turret Wash right the way over absolutely everything on this one. And then obviously we go through about taking it off in various stages. So again, damp cloth, and then obviously just using different techniques, we can get different styles with it. So we say you can take it all off, there where my finger is, you got quite grimy and you've got heavy grime as well. So it depends on how the finish you want with it. Then as you can see down in here, we've got this vortex streaking, which is a 2-second job. It's the easiest thing to do, but it looks very effective. So we got those all put onto it as well, right the way over the model. All right. So with these all in now and everything else like that, it's literally time for oils on that one. And that's what you're going to get in the next bit of going through with all the oils. But down in here, we've got the gear all fitted to it. We've got all the aerials onto it, all the lumps and bumps and all the bits that you knock off during the process. As you can see here, I knocked one off. That has been glued back on and going right the way through it. Then we did a little bit of dry brushing to weather down the actual rotors to get those all put in. And then it was the fab time of unmasking it and seeing how much dust is inside the model. As there is a little bit, as you can see, but I have had the airbrush in there now and blown it out, so we should be okay. All right, so we got those done. Successful unmasking. That all went very, very well with it right the way through. So yeah, looking very nice on that one. It's coming together very nicely. And as I say, on Monday, you will get the final part, which is basically going through using oils wet. So we make up an oil wash and we go through and we do various streaking with it. We do some rain effects with it, and obviously just adding general grime and that into the wheel wells, onto the gear and around other areas as well. So going right the way through with that particular one. So you can catch up with that one. And here she is right now. So yes, as you can see, she is all done. Very difficult to grab this thing, but it is. She's done and sorted and is all completed, which I'm really happy about as well. Whoops, well, we don't want to do that. So the big thing is that we can, as I say, we've somewhat glued some of these. We can, hopefully, we lock this in and we just pop this one on. Pop him on. We can fold this thing, which is the nice thing to this. So there we go, it does fold up. So now it's the size of a shoe, which is dead handy. So now we can have this thing folded up and put it into a display cabinet and kept out of the way. As I say, the actual engines do rotate and will come up and all the rest of it. So if we do want to do it in somewhat poses, and I have got the other blades down in here as well, if we did want to put them on and have it as a normal one. So that's pretty good. So we managed to retain some of the moving parts with this one and going right the way through. So yes, very happy of how it turned out. I have to say, like Hobby Boss, sometimes I get a little bit of a knock that they're not very accurate and all the rest of it. This is a classic example. This kit is a little bit of a hybrid between the US one and the Marine Corps one. Technically, I'm waiting for him to do the Navy version, because technically you could have it as a COD one as well if he's changed over the sponsons, and they are designed to come off as well. So I'm hopeful that maybe Hobby Boss in the future will bring out the Air Force version with it as well for the Combat Search and Rescue version, which is a really nice one with all the lumps and bumps and gizmos all over it, and actually do the US Navy one with the actual COD version with the bigger sponsons onto it and all the rest of it, because then that way I can do it in high-vis markings with the white with the gold grey, because they look very cool in those ones as well. And again, I wasn't a mass fan of this particular lump before we started, but now I'm sold on it. It is a very well-designed kit. It goes together really, really well. We have no fit issue with it at all. The only thing is, because it is a center seam all the way through, when you're dealing with a big flat area at the back, that can be a right pain, because obviously you've got a seam line that runs all the way down in here and all the way down the front, and trying to do it when it's on a flat surface is really, really difficult. So I spent quite a bit, any hours, just making sure that's polished down and looking good, so we don't get any ghost seams and things like that coming up through it and stuff like that. But I think generally we've got there in the end. Anyway, you'll be able to see the final part of that one, and obviously on social media there'll be various free videos to see on this one as well over the next coming days, so keep an eye out for those ones. Speaking of free videos and stuff like that, I will be releasing, starting over the weekend, a batch of probably around about 10 of the video builds. Now, these are still slightly older ones, so not bang up to date ones and things like that, but there is going to be one in there that is a new one that we only did a few months ago, so that will make it out as well onto the public. So keep an eye on social media, keep an eye on obviously YouTube, and if you do want to see one of the full video builds, a more recent one shall we say, you'll be able to see that. So it's going to start literally over the weekend, so just keep an eye on it. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be releasing them, but I'm going to put 10 up over basically this weekend and New Year, so keep an eye out for those ones as well, so you can see those ones, and then hopefully you'll get the details pop up on the main site as well. I'll pop it on here, but as I say, keep an eye out for them if you're a little bit of the fan of video builds, or you just want to see generally what we do, and you've seen some of the ones obviously that are over on YouTube land that are all over 10 years old now. You might be able to see a bit more of a modern one in the near future. Last post day has finished, obviously, for pretty much everywhere now before Christmas. We do have everything pretty much in stock. We're only out of missing a couple of little things as well. But in the new year, these will all be back in stock again. So if you want to get any of these ones from the actual Flory model store, you can get it down in there. Don't forget, if you're over in Europe, you can get all our stuff through the Flory Models Europe page as well, through the lovely Karine and Avid over at Brevaco Modelling. So if you want to pop over to them, obviously they can sort you out with all the DSP stuff as well that we use, as well as the Flory model stuff. So I'm sure they're wishing you a happy Christmas as well. All right, so that's all down in there. And obviously PM models as well. So don't forget, you can go over to the eBay store, and obviously over on the eBay land, you've got all of the various kits are all on there now, so you can catch up with all of them down in there. And then obviously on our bit, we've got an offer on the books at the moment. So if you fancy any of the books up there, we've got the new Buccaneer book, we've got the new F-14 Tomcat as well from Duke Hawkins. Brilliant books, absolutely fantastic. Plus the fact we've got some other real good ones down in here as well, and it is 10% off all books. Plus the fact, don't forget, you've got your back when it comes to all your paints and your glues and your sundries. We've had a big restock of AK in recently as well. So we've got a lot of the marker pens are back in. Obviously the paints are all back in. You name it, it is in there, as well as all your other glues and sundries and tools and everything else like that. So yes, you can catch up with all of those just like that. And that is about it. So don't forget, join us for our Christmas special on Sunday night, 7:30. Love to have you on there. We've got the final part of this will be up with you on Monday as well. So that'll be part 10. So that'll probably be up around about mid-morning, around about midday, something like that, UK time to see that one. Then obviously we're having a little bit of a break for Christmas. Have a happy Christmas. We don't see you beforehand. And then on the Friday following, we've actually got the next part of the Nimrod will be up with you. Then on the Sunday, which is the 29th, I do believe, we've got our New Year's special show as well. So we've got two special shows on the Sunday night. So this Sunday coming, and then the following Sunday night as well for our New Year's show. So that one's pretty laid back, where we'll be picking our kit of the year, manufacturer of the year, worst manufacturer of the year, worst kit of the year, and everything else in between. Don't forget, members, if you've got any builds on the go, now's the time to get them finished for the group builds and SIGs. Make sure you get those all tidied away and all the rest of it. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing anything on New Year's Day, so we'll be back on it on probably the second or the third before those get closed down and sorted out. So you've technically got another couple of days until all those get done. If we're starting the new group builds and SIGs, those will be up and ready to go on New Year's Day, probably around about midday before I get going with that. Anyway, that's it from me. If I don't see you over Christmas period, please have a happy Christmas and stay safe out there. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you from your great work from the gallery. So until Sunday, everybody, 7:30 live, happy modelling. Take care.
I'm wasted. My heart grows heavy. Don't taste me rushing and keep your words naked. You got me blushing. And you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow. For the answers.